This is a pop-up banner for Dungeon Descent that Minecraft have just announced in the same week of a brand new community challenge, as well as a big overhaul to the early game of Minecraft. Is this because of Hytale's release this week? I want to explain that today, because this is Q&A Saturday, the weekly series where I answer your questions and give you a roundup of the news you might have missed. And so let's get right into this with a fun comment from Cody Emerald Minecart, because he can't believe he missed the zombie horse cape, which we got from doing a big community challenge last week. And I've got some news to share with you at least, because a brand new community challenge has just been announced. If we mine 4.25 billion blocks with a B in the community before Monday, we will get the Victor's Coat character creator item, which looks like this. I mean, it's kind of nice, I guess. And if we kill 1.75 billion mobs, then we'll get the Victor's Laurel Wings character creator items, which look like this. And so if you think there's a chance that you want these items, if you use a default Minecraft skin, one of the base 9, and just add things to it, then what you'll want to do is kill one mob and mine at least one stone block. Although, as you can see in this gameplay, I'm going to be mining far more than that, because I'm actually preparing for today's stream. I've been excited all day for it. It's a very nerve-wracking one for me. Hopefully, if you're watching this, I am still live, and you can see where that has gotten me. But what you also can see is this brand new pop-up, which some users are starting to get. Personally, I didn't get it, but Eyebrow Master 3321, what sort of a username is that, from the subreddit, actually did get this message, and they're wondering, what the hell is this? So this is an announcement about a brand new add-on, which is there to promote the Mounts of Mayhem. I don't think they've ever done this for a, every time they release a drop, they try to release some form of map, but actually I've never seen it be an add-on before. Looking into the store, you can see that, yeah, the goal is you get 15 saddle charms and 450 decorative blocks, but it really raises the question of like, wait, but if the point of this is to promote the update, surely by giving us 15 saddle charms and 450 decorative blocks, you're actually doing the opposite. Like, we're going to be playing with those new things rather than the update. Whatever, this is a brand new strategy that I think is absolutely wild and kind of shows that they're pushing modding and community content, which is of course a big thing that Hytale is getting into, which is where Apex Ghost 1294's comment perhaps comes from. Mojang actually making changes. They are terrified of Hytale. So obviously we got a brand new chick model in Minecraft this week, and it does have to be mentioned, the Hytale announcement trailer and I believe the current chick model looks like this, and so as a result, whoa, look at that, Mojang changing to match. I'm not necessarily sure that's true, although one thing I thought was fun is going back to this video and finding this comment. I can see where the inspiration came from this game, can you? I am really excited to play Hytale, but I have to be the one voice in the community that says, yeah, it's going to be fun. I actually think I'm going to enjoy like seeing the comparison of like the world generation to Minecraft. There's a lot of things I'm excited to give a go, and I think it's just the perfect point in the year, but I still am the cynical voice that says, yeah, a lot of games have a challenger game that people want to be successful. I think saying that Minecraft needs some competition is probably the most important but also oversaid statement ever, because it's true. It has somehow existed for all these years without really much competition, but is Hytale fair competition on PC? Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm going to play it. I'm going to have some fun with it. But the real thing here is like, sometimes people want something to be successful so much that they're not actually looking into like, well, how will this actually, compete? And does it need to compete is even a more valid question. I hope the answer is no. Simon from Hytale certainly thinks like there's a lot of space for both games, and that's what I think is the real answer. And so, yeah, if you ever see a post saying that like, yeah, actually Hytale is so much better than Minecraft, it's like, well, I think you're missing the point, at least the tiniest bit there. Speaking of missing the point, the tiniest bit, Epic Randomness says, I would love it if they made axolotls more like frogs, where when you bred them, they lay eggs in water, which hatch into larvae and grow into adults. This is, of course, in response to the baby discourse. We're getting all these ideas for what Minecraft could do to make baby mobs more interesting, and the sad news for you is we have a direct response from Jeb, but it probably doesn't say exactly what you think. So he says, if y'all are updating baby animals, does that mean we might get axolotl spawn in the future snapshot? I'm just wondering, because frogs lay eggs IRL, and we don't have any frog spawn in the game, but axolotls lay eggs, and we don't have an axolotl spawn in the game for some reason. And then Jeb says, well, the frog behavior is currently an exception. But But again, if you, I think this is basically saying, yeah, the frogs are meant to be different. But if we read into this too much and zoom in on the word currently, currently an exception, that could change any time now. And so, will they make axolotls lay eggs in water? I think probably not. But I do think at the exact same time that they probably aren't done playing around with changes they're going to make to babies. And although we could discuss this all day, including what I think Radio Marco calls very delightfully the creeplet, I also think that at the exact same time, it's not necessarily that likely. I also think, though, a much more interesting idea is what if they make name tags allow babies to stay in their baby form? If we're going to have babies that are as cute as this, then does it make sense that you could keep them? And although this sounds like a really cool change, I do think that some people name their cows expecting that they are going to get old, or name their chickens, or name any other mob. And although I think that there is much more utility to keeping them as a baby, because this is a new change, I feel like it's something that could lead to some downsides. Are those downsides worth it, though? It's a really good question, probably beyond the scope of this video, but I do like the idea of using name tags for more uses if they're going to be easy to obtain. Speaking of them being easy to obtain, rabbits are huge now, and, you know, honestly, are they that big? They're bigger, and they're definitely chunky, but honestly, I kind of like the scale of Minecraft mobs not making any sense. I don't mind that the rabbit is basically the size of me crouching. Also, does he like my name tag or something? Anyway, the interesting thing here is that I think that this is actually a good thing, because if we were to summon a bee, this is a very normal thing that people do, you'll still find that the bee is bigger than the bunny, and so is there any logic to saying the bunny should be smaller? I don't think so. I think the rabbit is super, super cute in its current form, but oh, look at that. New animations too. I love the rabbits. I love their new size and identity. And if you want them tiny, then just, I don't know, get a tiny version of them, and then we can name tag it and keep it small. No, I don't think that is going to work. But I think it's a cool combination of two ideas, right? Speaking of two ideas, I got this comment right here, which I found to be really interesting. This comment actually came in, and I didn't mean to name you Betsy. I wanted to give you Betsy for your hand. Can you not give an armor stand a name tag? Do you have to just name this guy Betsy? Well, goodbye, Betsy. Speaking of saying goodbye to things, Chipmunctious D says goodbye to the idea of name tags being a rare item, and they say that they sort of still are, because you have to go out and explore to get the resources to craft with, because if you don't get a super easy seed, finding iron and gold can take a lot of spelunking, and I wanted to test this point, so I've loaded up Minecraft on a random seed. This is a very unique random seed, and probably the worst one for finding a name tag. Let's see how long it takes me to actually find one. So we need to find sugarcane and any ore. It can even be copper. I bet that hill contains some ore. It also contains some coal, so that should be that resource sorted, but we will need some sugarcane to go along with it. In my mind, sugarcane is basically everywhere at every spawn, but not on this one, you can see. The nearest sugarcane's all the way out there, so this might take me a while. Oh, you know what? I actually can't find a single ore anywhere in this mountain. Oh yeah, this might be proof of the point that actually finding ores is not as guaranteed as we assume. Once you've got a bunch of something, you don't really mind if you find it or not, so you're never stressed. Therefore, when you see it, it feels like a nice bonus. Therefore, it feels like it happens a lot. But in this case, yeah, we're going to have to go this way. No, there's a village that way that would definitely give me iron. But I think we might be better off going this way. Man, I love vibrant visuals in conditions like this. But I also love being able to say that I've secured enough sugarcane to get paper sorted. So paper is done. We just now need the ingot. This is a really, really non-ideal seed. I've got to say, like, you could probably spawn with a ruined portal or something like that. But on this seed, I'm just seeing no ores of any type anywhere, really backing up the point that is being made right here. Okay, there's a big ravine next to this village. There's no way this ravine has no iron, no copper, no anything else. Unless there is... Ah, there's some copper. So if I'm not mistaken, you can mine copper with wood. I think I am mistaken. And also there is a zombie. So what we're going to have to do, a little painfully, is sit up here and make ourselves a stone pickaxe, and then mine enough stone to remake a furnace. Because we do have to cook it up too. This is an involved process. Then we're going to make some paper, and then we're going to mine some copper. There's a much easier pile over here. Okay, just like this, we have gotten ourselves 3 name tags, and this was probably the least ideal spawn I feel like I could have had. But still, the point is there that you have to go through about 5 minutes on a non-ideal seed. And if you're in an even less ideal place, or you're already underground when you find the first mob worth name tagging, and then also we need to get a level, and we need to get a name, an anvil to actually use it. I think that actually this did change my mind the tiniest bit. It still is a lot easier to get now than before, and once you get one of them, you can get literally a pile. Like, I got 9 copper ingots, plus I've got all the extra stuff. It's so easy to get your hands on a billion name tags now. But actually, you know, this is one of the reasons why it's important to playtest things. 5 minutes is a lot more than I would have guessed. And, yeah, I like including data like this, even when it goes against what I feel, because that's when data is most valuable, right? We already have feelings. We don't need data that just backs up what we already know. Most of the time. And in this same vein, Mincat has a very interesting comment, which is, so will they update the Librarian Villager final trade? It's 20 emeralds for a name tag. If it's this cheap to get them now, why would anyone spend 20 emeralds? And would they do it without doing the whole Librarian book trade debuff? So, to be clear, I do think that an easy way out right here would be just doing the Librarian book trade change. Take out the current system, put in the new one. But I do think that actually, even within the current system, which they've been clear they're probably going to keep, I think what they could just easily do is replace that last trade, which is ridiculous. 20 emeralds for something that costs 1 copper ingot and 1 paper. You would only pay for that if you lived in a world without sugarcane. And, you know, what's the point in living in a world without sugarcane? There isn't one. So I think that ultimately it's like, yeah, I would expect them to change that. And I think the most fun thing to change to encourage better gameplay than push piston up, push piston down. Is the trade good? Nope. Push piston up, push piston down. I think a way better solution would be if you could simply have a really guaranteed high-end book, one of the, like, best 10, let's say, at that max level trade, so you're incentivized to, instead of, you know, sitting there piston up, piston down, to actually go to the max of villagers, because they'll always have something good. That would be cool. That would be fun. Is that what they'll do? Well, I mean, honestly, there's a small chance, given, I think, looking at Minecraft's current track record of drops, that they are kind of doing things first, breaking things first, and fixing things later. Which is like, you know, it's a way of doing things, I think. Anyway, speaking of a way of doing things, could their primary development goal be making the game better instead of adding more cute things? Well, here's the thing, right? This is really debatable. Isn't adding cute things making the game better? Like, no, on a, like, it's not going to affect how much fun you have. But at the same time, some cute mobs do provide value in and of their own right. I like sniffers, I have a sniffer farm, and I like connecting the sniffer seeds, and I want to work on improving that little thing still at some point. And so cute things do add value, just not necessarily, and I think it sounds like not to you. How does Minecraft balance your needs versus the needs of someone who is solely in it for the technical reasons? Because what's weird is, I was thinking about this today, actually, while recording this gameplay and being on hold to being on hold to my washing machine company. But I was thinking about it today, and I was like, weirdly, people used to come in and just criticize my chest room. Like, why is it like this? Why is your storage system like this? There's no point to a cat. This is awful. But all of those people stopped playing Minecraft. They perfectly optimized their storage, and then they were done. Whereas a lot of people who still like the game like it for kind of weird reasons, I think. And that's the weird thing about a game, is people will tell you they want something so bad, and then it comes to the game, and they're like, this is nice, but I won't actually interact with this. Whereas the sort of no one would tell you that they wanted you to change the baby models, but yet when they are in the game, they will delight so many players. And so is delighting a large number of people worth delivering over exciting a smaller number, but perhaps more significant number of people? I don't know the answer. But what I do know is that I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you are now going to mine at least 1 stone block and kill 1 mob over the weekend. I've mined several thousand towards that billions goal, but if you've been looking to work on your own metro or tunnel, or go mining for diamonds like it's the old time and not actually find very many diamonds because they're all at Deep State Lair now, if you want to do any of those things, take part in the community challenge. If you want a brand new add-on, well then the Mounts of Mayhem Dungeons Descent exists. And again, I'm just going to be, I'm sure it has some value, but it's something I'm going to be leaving aside from me, to be entirely honest with you. Whereas I'm much more excited about both what is going to happen next week in the newest Minecraft beta drop, as well as with Hytale. It is finally coming out. I try to avoid being too hyped about new games because of all the reasons I mentioned earlier, but I'm excited, not like everyone else is, for mods or for PvP or whatever else part of the game. I'm curious about the world generation more than anything else. This is a voxel-based game that is coming out and releasing and has... I'm sure I want to play some of the game. I want to see, like, for example, how it compares to Minecraft world generation. I would love to do those comparisons, and so maybe that's what you'll see on Tuesday. Or maybe I'll load up the game and I'll decide immediately I don't like it. But probably the first and not the last. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, not because it helps in the algorithm or gives me any reward, but instead because being a YouTuber is 90% paid in money, but 10% in validation, and saying that like the video and then seeing some number of people like the video, that's some validation that I could use right now. And it's free. Speaking of things that are free, thank you, goodbye. Well, I mean... You paid in, like, electricity, and you also paid in, like, your time, which is one of the most valuable resources you have. So that goodbye isn't free. But then this little bit talking about that goodbye is even less free and less valuable. So I'll stop it, like, right now.